Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a walkthrough of Manchester School of Architecture's faculty building. So this is actually the MMU art building because it's a joint course from MMU and UOM. So this is the Benzie building on my left, which is the building for art, interior design, and fashion design. And on my right, that's the Chatham building. That's where our building is, the architecture building. And I'm going to do a walkthrough of that so you have an idea of what the studio rooms are like, what facilities there are. So before the wind blows my head off, let's go inside and I'll do a walkthrough. So now we're in the lobby of the Chatham and Benzie building, and you can have a look at the intricate staircases, but that's the Benzie part of the building. And at the very end, that's where the art school cafe is. So usually when we have our lunch or when we want to grab a coffee, this is where we're gonna be at. Right. It's not open today, but you can see on the far end, that's where coffee bars are. So moving on, we're going to have a look at some of the workshops. Okay. Right. So on the ground floor, we have a variety of workshops. So go on the right. This is where the first workshop is going to be. So the first workshop is going to be the wood workshop. Right. So it's Saturday today, so there's not a lot of people, so which is good for filming. So this is the wood workshop, and this is where we usually keep our stuff when we go into the workshop because we don't want things lying around. Right, and then you can see there are bandsaws and all kinds of equipment. And moving on. Right. We have the metals workshop, which we can't really see a thing. Yep. Okay, and then we have like toilets, but the toilets are kind of like dispersed around here and there, which is kind of annoying for this building. So it's not, the males and females toilets are not together, so sometimes when you want to look for the male's toilet, it's not there. When you want to look for the ladies' toilet, it's not there. So now we have the ceramics workshop. That's where people do the ceramics, pottery, and stuff. And if you pan to the left a little bit, you can see there's like this kind of turning tables in the movie, like Ghost. Yep, this is like an extension of the ceramics workshop. And there's not a lot to look at inside. But then, talking about one of these lockers here. So these lockers, you can actually grab one of your own if it's empty and you have your own padlock. So at the start of the school year, you can just try and get one and colonize it. So there's something inside, but there's like no lock, no name here. So if you find one that's empty and you have like a free padlock, you can just get one so you don't have to bring stuff all the time from, you know, your home and into the studio. So this is like the end. And then on the other side, we have more workshops, but I don't really remember what workshops there are, so let's go for a while. Right, this is the plaster workshop, which is a little different than the pottery one. And then workshop store, I'm guessing where they keep all the big scale, like wooden panels and things where you want to cut. And then the chemicals workshop, where we did a lot of spraying here, like for the models, we did like spraying, and then there is like a hood inside which extracts all the exhaust chemical air. Yeah. And then we have the chem suit. The chem suit is the workshop where we do our laser cutting. And that's the laser cutting machine. And then that's another metal workshop So there are all kinds of equipment in there. Right, so it's the end of this floor. Right. And then now we're going up one floor onto the mixed store. And so now we're up on the stairs. That's kind of like a fire escape, but we kind of use the stairs as a fire escape and also for daily purposes as well. So going up one floor on the first floor. And here we have the AV store. So this is where the make store is. It's closed today, but there's this place is where we usually get all our materials for making models. You can have like paper and card samples here, so you can kind of feel the texture and also have a look at the colors whether they match your design or not. And they have a booklet inside with all the different materials and all the different like scalpels or equipment you can get to make models. There's also fabric. There's also, I don't know, a lot of different stuff like glue sticks, scalpels, rulers, pencils, pens. Great. And then moving on here, we have the AV photography store. So, right. And then some toilets here again. Oh my god. Look at this. I've never seen this before.
Oh my god.
I've never seen this.
What on
Oh
earth?
my god, there's a secret passage, but okay. The tour ends here for a secret passage. But this is where we usually borrow cameras if we want to take photos of our models. And then we have the photography studio where we take the pictures inside so it looks more professional. Right. And then now I'm going to go onto the architectural floors. So for Chapman building, it's not actually the whole building for architecture. So basically our studio rooms are on the 5th floor, 6th floor, 7th floor, and 8th floor. So now we're going to take a lift up to the 5th floor. Okay, so here is where we take our elevators. We're on the 1st floor now. So we're going to take the elevator up onto the 5th floor.
Wait, hold up.
Doors closing.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're on the 5th floor, and this is where we are. Manchester School of Architecture, and then here's a bunch of, I don't know what the letters are.
Classic.
And then there's like a really brief introduction of MSA events, which is called MSA Live Now. And it's talking about other projects, other people. Moving on to the left side of the stage. So this is usually where the toilets are.
Hold.
And there's like an open studio space at the left wing of basically each, on each floor. Right, and then there's like the open studio there. Right, this is like the most tidiest one I've seen.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, moving on.
It's insane.
We have the other toilet rooms. So this room is toilet. So this room is basically for a toilet called Lulu, which is now called Flux, I think. They changed their name. So we don't really have like an open studio like the one in the Benzie building, but like you usually do it in rooms. A lot of doors.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then
Oh gosh.
this is
Not
where
the doors.
building is, like usually on the left side of the corridor is the academic office, and then this is just more studio rooms, some printers, and then at the end there's like a larger studio. There's one more regular size studio room, and this is a larger studio room, and this is the studio room where me and Bima met on
Yeah.
a first date. That was surprisingly smaller now.
Oh my god. The nostalgia of this room.
Yeah, and all the models. are
It's
here.
amazing. I'm glad it's used for
Yep.
a lot of models now.
Yeah.
Though one thing I have to point out,
There's a change of flooring.
what's with the change of flooring?
Weird.
To anyone who works here, MSA staff, tell us.
Okay, and then now we're going to go up the stairs under the steps.
Yeah.
Right. And then on the 6th floor, we have on the end another open, kind of like a bigger studio. That's for the atelier infrastructure space. So if you're like a third year or postgrad students, you get to choose which atelier you want to be in. And these are like basically the atelier rooms, but they're also used for other cohorts as well. So it's more like interchangeable rooms. And this is like a relatively open studio. But this
Yeah.
room is for praxis. I think it's another atelier. It's atelier focused on feministic design. And then there's a lot of shelves here for models. Some really, really nice models here. Right. And then the highlight of the building, the big scale printing room. So if you need to print any A1 plans or large drawings, this is the room you go to. So this is where you cut up the paper, and these are the large scale printers. So this is like a matte printers, which I like because the paper is smoother and you can actually draw on it, like using markers. Yeah.
Damn.
And
just
then
like it.
these are like the
amazing.
glossy ones. So it's more like shiny for posters.
I'm not gonna touch that glossy one.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
And
it's horrible
this
texture.
6th floor, open studio. This isn't an open studio, but it's more like a studio where there's no class anytime during the week, so you can actually come in and work here if you want to work here besides your studio time. So there's like a collection of computers, some lockers, where you can store your stuff. And then some tables here. We work on and also some shelves for storing things. And I also have like a locker here where I share with my friends. Here.
Mm-hmm.
So we store food inside when we're hungry and also like modeling materials. Right.
I actually need more food now.
Right. So now we're going up onto the 7th floor. Basically, each floor is relatively the same in terms of studio size, room sizes. It's just different ateliers or different years to use them. Right. So on the 2nd floor, I think this is staff room. I think this is more like a staff floor because I think there's a lot of staff offices and they have framed plans, which look kind of like very, I don't know, academic.
Yeah.
And then there's randomly another studio room if you want to have a look at it. Like, because we don't have our own designated seats in studio, so we're not allowed to like kind of leave stuff around except for like modeling and things you're not afraid to get stolen, basically. That's why we have the lockers. And then this is another studio room. And I'm guessing they had like a seminar in here because of all the seats. But yeah, since the open studio on the end of this floor is kind of the same as the previous 2 floors, so now we're going directly up onto the 8th floor, which is our floor, because that's where our atelier is.
Yes. This feels a lot like home now. Oh gosh.
So level 8, which is like the top floor. Right. So this, and unlike the previous floors, the bigger rooms are kind of made into 2 smaller studio rooms. So this is where the master students have their tutorials.
That's where I had my review as well.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes we use them.
Yes.
And then this is another room. Right. And then what I like about this floor the most is that they have a huge open space, unlike the other floors where most of them are actually just made into compartmental rooms. So we have this massive open space. And our floor, like our year 3, has studio here in this room. And then sometimes, as you see, that's all paper and all models.
Oh my
A
goodness.
mess.
What a mess.
But yeah, sometimes when there's not enough space, because there's like 20 of us, and you know how architecture students are, we need like large spaces for our large
I can see your
drawings.
model right there.
Yep.
Just
So
over
sometimes
there.
we kind of colonize this space out here. So this is where
Colonize.
most master students work, and then like sometimes we use the space too, so kind of interact with master students, which is fun. And then checking out the other end, basically that's the end of the architecture building. Studio room, and the there's all the starter models as well. There's like a tree trunk model, which is one of my favorites.
We need to have a close-up of that model.
There's a lot of models here
Uh-huh.
as well. Right.
Beautiful model.
And then tonight bringing you out to where we take the lifts back onto the ground floor.
Thank you.
Right. So for microwave, we don't have that in here or like a pantry or anything. So if you want to microwave your food, which you brought, you have to go downstairs onto the first floor, ground floor, where the cafe is, and there they have microwaves inside the Benzie building. And also if you want hot water, that's where you get them as well. So now this is where the place we take our lifts back onto the ground floor. And basically that's the end of the Chatham building, the architecture building. So, hope you liked the video.